Welcome to the 236th climate change emergency protest here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I'm on the Gettysburg battlefield at one of the creeks that doesn't exist right now because we are in a severe drought. And it is a pretty bad drought on the East Coast right now, especially here in Pennsylvania. Right now I should be in up to my ankles in water. This is where we take our dog on runs on the horse trails. And there's no water to be found. And if she did drink out of this water, I wouldn't let her, because now it would be full of amoebas and all sorts of bad stuff. But don't have to worry about that now. I fully expect fires. If this continues on for another 3 weeks like this, I think this whole area is going to be up in flames, part of it. But, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be some rain coming. Tomorrow's going to be 96 degrees. I think it is 95, 96. It's probably normally supposed to be upper 70s maybe. I don't know. It's only June, early June. So this is Climate Change Talk number 236, and next week will be Climate Change Talk number 237. This is June 1st, 2023. The carbon dioxide level is 4. Oh, it's kind of interesting too. People walk by and ask me what I was doing. I said, doing a climate change talk. I've done 236 of them. Good luck with that. That's what they said. And I really want to say good luck to you too. But, you can't tell people. They don't go, oh, that's interesting. You could tell they're deniers, and that's fine. Whether Democrats or Republican, the denying is all the same anyways. De facto for the Democrats, meaning they're saying there's an issue, but they don't do anything about it. Or the Republicans, which outright deny it. So good luck to you. So anyways, this is, carbon dioxide right now is 424.65 parts per million. Only 280 parts per million is the safe zone. That's what it was in the year 1750. What's strange about the 424.65 parts per million is that it's not going down at all. Usually in the past, when I first started observing this stuff, it would start decreasing in March because the trees would start, absorbing all the carbon dioxide and everything in the northern hemisphere. Now it's not March, it's not April, it's not May. Now it's June, and it still hasn't gone down. So I don't know what's happening. Obviously, there's another player involved. I mean, either there's more manufacturing, which is possible because of coal mines and things like that still being opened up, and pipelines being authorized by our friendly Joe Biden, and also the Republican Congress. But Joe Biden's to blame for this because he's authorizing this stuff. Willow Project, 2 leases off the Gulf of Mexico for 80 million acres and other sides of Italy, and 2,600 drilling permits in the first 2 years in office. You cannot deny that he's totally against climate change. If he's doing actions like that, he's not taking it seriously. This is psychopathic action. Same with the Congress. Same with the campaigners on the other side of the parties who are saying drill, baby, drill when they get in office. Insanity. They're going to kill you, and you got to wake up to that. I know it's not popular to say that, but quit voting for these knuckleheads. Quit voting for the same party and expecting a change. We're going to die, and that's where we're headed. Sorry, didn't mean to lecture. Yes, I did. So anyways, this strange hasn't gone down. So the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the United Nations, in March, this is no action taken since then, said this specifically. I'm not being a hysterical thing on this. Only swift and drastic action can change and avert irrevocable damage to the world. Meaning, this is it. This is their final warning. They gave it in March, and no one's doing anything. In fact, we're going the exact opposite. As I said, those leases were authorized, many of them, after the death sentence was given to us by the United Nations and all the scientists. Okay, so they also said, act now or it'll be too late. No action. In fact, instead of action, they're acting in the wrong direction. Okay, you're getting that. Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Secretary General, said, our world needs climate action on all fronts. Everything, everywhere, all at once. This doesn't mean China, as I'm hearing on some of these news broadcasts. Oh, China, they're the problem. No, we're the problem because all of our crap we're buying comes from China, okay? You can't blame China because we're part of China. We're part of the whole problem going on right now. Stop with this Chinese stuff. Stop with this Russian stuff. Stop the war. Stop doing stupid stuff because we're not going to survive this. I talked about this last week. Keep on this path, we're going to die. We are on the path to destruction right now. Climate change is happening right now. I'll tell you in 1 second why. For example, right now in Somalia, millions of refugees. And this isn't about the war. This is because of drought and flooding in Somalia. South Sudan, extreme flooding there. They can't even plant crops, so people have been underwater for however long. Pakistan, 1/3 of Pakistan was underwater last year. Okay, you can't go denying this stuff. Spain, the worst mega drought ever, and they're turning into a desert. The Sahara Desert, if you look at that whole area, is starting to spread up in Spain and southern Italy and things like that. and eventually southern Europe will become uninhabitable, and not very soon from now. I mean, it's going to happen soon, okay, not later, okay. So you gotta wake up and look around. Quit watching your three news broadcasts: ABC, NBC, CBS, or Fox, and stop watching them and get on the internet. Go to YouTube. No one will know. It's okay. You can do it. Type in climate change on YouTube, and then go scanning around in there. When they take you to an article, go back to climate change, find another article. These aren't lies, what's going on. Don't go into the denialist. Go into the realist as to what is happening right this second. Okay, no one will know in your family. Just do it. Go into climate change. All right. So you got the Italy floods. Asia had records broken in April for their all-time highs ever. Okay, Asia, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, you name it, Burma, Myanmar, places like that. South America, Uruguay, and Brazil, they're having moisture depletion. This is the Amazon rainforest. Okay, the soil is almost gone with no moisture in it. Okay, you can't have that without a severe drought. And what's happening too is they're at like 17% destruction of the rainforest so far. My theory is if they get up to 20%, that's ball game, because the trees will no longer support each other. They'll no longer evaporate water vapor into the air. The whole ecosystem is changing now. It isn't right at 20%, just like it isn't at 1.5 degrees. Bad things start happening. They're happening now. Okay, so it's building and building and building, and eventually you end up off the table and you can't get back. Okay, that's a tipping point, and there's no getting back at that point. If I'm pushing a rock up the hill and it goes up and over the slope and starts going downhill, I can't stop it. All right, something you have to wait for eons, millions of years to get it back. And as far as I know, humans in their 140,000 years are not capable of sticking around for a million years. So the USA is in drought, the Midwest and the East is in drought. There are fires. Fires are going to come. Unless we start getting a lot of rain, it's inevitable. Right now in, let's see, Nova Scotia, they're having severe fires to the point that the smoke's going out into the ocean, whipping around, coming back onto the eastern seaboard. And yesterday, when I was coming back from Washington, D.C., I could see smoke coming down down over the hill into Frederick, Maryland. It used to be a great view. You couldn't even see the hills. That's how smoky it was. And that's from all the way up in Canada. Then you also have the fires in Alberta, Canada. You also have the fires in Siberia. Who knows what else is going on? You know, you can't get all the news or any news sometimes what's going on. So literally we have psychopaths in charge. And I'm telling you, it's the executive branch, it's the legislature, it's all of them combined. But you got leaders in charge. We've had a succession of leaders, Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden, who've been totally against the environment. I don't care if you think that they wrote one law or two laws or whatever. You start doing the damage the other way, it's too late. You have done that damage. That's like going out to the bars, coming home, beating your wife, and then giving her flowers the next day. It's not going to make up for the fact that she got beaten the night before. So do you understand what's going on here? Biden and Trump and Obama and Bush all started this. Obama laid enough pipe to go around the whole world. He's bragging in front of Oklahoma. Type that in on YouTube. Obama bragging in front of Oklahoma about oil. And you watch that the first minute and a half, and you'll be astounded as to what he brags about. Climate change present my ass. So the wheels are coming up. Well, right now we got coal mines. Okay, you got coal mines coming in. You got pipelines. Coal mines being slowly stopped in the United States, but you got them going on all over the world right now. They opened one up in Germany. You got pipelines being authorized. The Joe Manchin pipeline, part of this recent budget deal, they're going to authorize an oil pipeline from West Virginia to Virginia. Insanity. You don't do such things. Okay, that's like saying I'll take my youngest kid out and allow him to be shot. All right, this stuff is insanity, what's going on, and y'all aren't saying anything. You need to wake up and start saying something, especially if you're in the Democratic Party. You got no high ground on this issue. Oil and gas drilling being authorized, as I said before, Willow Project, 2 sets of leases in the Gulf of Mexico, huge amounts of land, and the 2,600 drilling permits on federal land that Biden said he would not authorize, but he did. 2,600 permits. It's more than Trump did in his first 2 years. Trump was a nightmare. This guy's a freaking monster with what's going on. So the wheels are coming off the wagon. You know, we're in this 6th mass extinction right now. It's happening this very instant. It's faster than any extinction rate ever, except for the 5th, where you had that asteroid come, theoretically, and wipe out all the dinosaurs. And it seems to be holding true as far as the iridium layer. So you have infighting in the United States, Republicans against Democrats rather than rich against poor. crazy stuff. Y'all are allowing yourself to be split up rather than looking at each other and going, hey, we're being duped here. You got the dogma because of that. I talked to a guy yesterday. You would not have believed the crap that came out of his mouth, and he's a professional working on my car up down in Tawnytown, Maryland. Unbelievable, this stuff. I don't care about the damn politics. So I just went along with him and went with his story and everything else like that. So overt and de facto denialism. Okay, overt denialism is saying, no, it doesn't exist, not happening, I don't care what you say. De facto denialism is actually worse because, you know, I can respect someone that comes in your face and says, no, that's not happening because I know they're full of crap. The de facto denialists will go, hey, great job. I'm not going to do anything for climate change. I'm not going to protest. I'm not going to say anything about it. I don't care. And then the people in office are like, yeah, climate change is a big issue, like Obama used to do. But then he'd authorize all the drilling. Okay, that's de facto denialism. Their actions do not indicate what their words say. Okay, so they're doing something, or they're just denying it out altogether, and not doing anything at all, not saying anything. It's horrific what's going on. Government speak media. The media rather, is just doing what the government tells it to do. They want the next interview. They don't want to lose their job because Rupert Murdoch or whoever else is going to tell them they're going to get fired if they say anything. So there's no talk about climate change at all. The warmongers, I mean, this is unfathomable to me. In the 1970s, you know, if you talked about wars, like, oh man, what's wrong with you? The State Department has all the power. Now the State Department has no power, no negotiations in this Russian-Ukraine issue, and is spending an ungodly amount of money on military. One quarter of our entire U.S. budget is spent on the military. More than 60% is spent on discretionary spending within the military and the VA. So this is money that doesn't have to be spent. It's called discretionary spending. More than 65% is spent on military and the Veterans Administration. Do you understand this craziness of it all? I'm a good American, I'm authorized and all that stuff, and I'm right behind the USA all the way. Well, what point are you going to say, hey, that's a little too much money going this way, and we don't have any money for any projects? Nothing at all. This is why we die. So the warmongers, bullshitters in charge, Congress, executive branch, and the legislature, as far as the Supreme Court goes. And then you got the Supreme Court with the wetlands. They're saying places like this is not a wetland. Okay, so you understand what's going on. It's not a wetland, doesn't exist. So this is going to be a horrendous and so sad of an extinction event. I'm going to watch people just cry and die. And, you know, you might think I'm being pessimistic, but in reality, I'm being realistic as to what's going on. So this is a certain death of all life on Earth and all humans, obviously. So thanks. I'll catch you next week. Have a good walk. Good.